I don't own the rights to any of this music that is played here today. Welcome to the crypto session. I know it's Saturday. Our schedule was conflicted this week, so we decided to do a live crypto recorded session today, Saturday, November 5th. Okay, so we're going to dive into it right away. Just give us a quick minute to get started. Sakes, man, I want to move this fucking thing. There. Jeez, I have to fucking just do it like that, I guess. Don't want to move all this other stuff. Alrighty. If you didn't see it. I don't own the rights to any of this music. All right, so I think today USD. All right, I'm going to turn the music down and we're going to get started here. Welcome, everybody, to the crypto session. Like I said earlier when we started the video, we're not live on Tuesday or Thursday this week, so we decided to do our session today. We just had some things that conflicted with the schedule, so we weren't able to go live at our original times. It's just, it happens, right? But I'm still able to come live today and give you that value still, right? So today I want to have a look at XRP a little bit. When we last had a look at it, we said that she was going to go up, and you can see she created that extra support like we wanted her to, and she's slowly climbing, right? In order to see her really jump, we need to see her break that 54 area, okay? And she's not that far from there. See, at the 54 area, she's even with this area. I'm going to highlight it here, okay? At this 54 area, she's basically, she's hitting the resistance here. She's got resistance there. So this is the area here where she would more than likely create that next support unless she spikes up very fast. Okay, and I've seen some of these cryptos do that. I've seen them jump very quickly. Even these smaller portfolios, right? It happens. See, this jump here happened very quickly too. This one right here. When she set up, she really started to move there. So it's just something that we need to be aware of and just pay attention for, because it can happen. Okay. All right. So what I want to do today, I just wanted to point that out. I'm going to delete everything off this pair. Okay. And that's 6 drawings. And I'm going to bring this down. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up. We're going to go right to the months. Okay. I'm going to go right to the months on XRP here. And I'm going to bring it over. And we're going to just zoom this out. Right. So we have a full market to look at. There we go. Oops. Okay. All right. So we can even bring this down because we're not really paying attention to this right now. Okay. There we go. So on the monthly, all I'm going to do, I'm going to do just a few basics here. So I'm going to pull it in that far because we can see that that wick is right there, that last huge wick here, right? That's the highest XRP has been at $3.30. Okay. So at that height, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take from this height, draw it all the way down, and we're going to bring it all the way into this area, right? Because this is all the zone up here. This is an entire zone up here. So we'll leave it like that. And then down here, we're going to come all the way down to the bottom of this zone here. And we're going to just create, I'm going to move this down a little bit here. Okay, just to there. And we will bring it up to there. There we go. All right. So that's what we got on the month here. Okay, so this is the middle zone that we're going to be looking at. That's the market itself. These are just resistant areas that the market did not really want to play. Okay, so let's go down to the week now and just have a quick peek. We're going to do a few basics, and then we're going to tie into some wave analysis and possibly look for some harmonics. Okay. Okay, so on the week, there's not a whole lot going on, except for almost this double bottom going on right here. Oh, I need some water. Oh, excuse me, guys. Let me have some water here. My throat's dry. Jeez. All right. We're getting a winter storm here right now. Anyways, the different seasons, I'm just going to kind of go a little off a little bit. The different seasons, the reason why my throat's acting the way it is and my eyes, and it's almost like a full allergy breakout for myself. It's kind of one of the reasons why I went into sound, because through sound, we can heal our allergies. Okay, through sound and light therapy, we can heal our allergenic side of ourselves. And that's one of the reasons why I kind of went into it, because our family, including myself specifically, have a lot of different allergies. So, anyways, that's besides the point. So we have a double bottom here. I bet right here. So we have that 1 and then a 2, right? So this retested itself right there, as you can see on this red candle, the first red candle right there, it retested itself. If I were to draw a line straight across, you would see that it did. See? It retested itself right there for the W, and she went up, and now she's creating structure. So what do you think this is going to do? I think it's going to continue up. After she's done creating this structure here for herself, she's going to continue to go up. Okay? And the next resistance zone that she'll have to come into is right here, right? So we'll draw a line there. We'll grab a horizontal. Right there. I'm going to change the color of that. We'll go yellow. Actually, I think we'll go blue, actually. I'm going to go blue. Okay. Maybe we'll make it a darker blue, though. All right, there we go. And we'll make it 4. Perfect. Okay. So that's the area that she would need to break, actually, right? This blue line here at the 56-cent line. Okay, the 56-cent line. If she starts to break that, where she's going to go next, where she will go next is the next resistance zone, which is at basically the top of all these wicks, which is 64 cents, right? 64 cents. Okay, we'll make this one green. Okay, so let's recap. This was the retest, right, of the double bottom. Now she's creating structure so then she can come up to the next resistance zone, okay, which is at 56 cents, okay? And then when she creates the structure there, or just shoots right up to 64 cents, then at 64 cents, if she didn't create the structure at 56, she'll create the structure here, and then she'll zoom up to the next resistant area, which is at 74 cents. Okay. This is what I believe is going to happen for XRP. There's significant bullish momentum going on here in this market, right? There's significant bullish momentum going on in this market. I know it's a crypto, but if we look at all the other cryptos, they haven't really been showing a significant enough sign telling us that the market is not going to drop. The markets on those other cryptos like Ethereum, Bitcoin, Shiba Inu, Dogecoin, all those other cryptos, besides XRP and XLM, all the other ones besides the two I just said, XLM and XRP, have been dropping significantly. In the last week, Ethereum has made back about overall in the 3 weeks, it's dropped almost 100%. Okay. Now, in the last 2 weeks, Ethereum has made back probably about 35, maybe 40% of that drop. Okay. And which is nice. It's nice to see Ethereum back on the climb, right? It's nice to see that because Ethereum holds, to my personal thoughts, anyways. Ethereum holds a lot of inspirational aspects when it comes to crypto itself. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of people can use it to buy other cryptos, right? Now, if it were to stay in, then you would know that the rest of the cryptos are going to really do the same, because Ethereum, when you have a Ethereum portfolio, like I said, you can buy other cryptos like Shiba Inu. If you need to buy Shiba Inu, you have to use Ethereum to buy it, okay? There are other cryptos out there as well that you have to use Ethereum to buy. Now, if they really want to drop the Ethereum market completely off, that's going to just wipe out a lot of different portfolios in the other cryptos. And not just that. That's going to basically wipe out a lot of different aspects when it comes to crypto. Because if you think about it, look at the upgrades that Ethereum did. Okay, they just upgraded their system significantly so that they could use less energy to create the algorithms for this wonderful portfolio, right? So if we just look at those different aspects and really give an overall perspective for our personal portfolio growth, I think we're going to have a little bit more success. Now, I know we're talking about portfolios right now, but a lot of people hold the Ethereum and XRP in a portfolio. Some of them don't trade that pair, right? So that is why sometimes I will mention some of these things so that we have an overall picture and perspective of not just trading, but if you're holding portfolios in these cryptos, you're going to kind of get some information on that as well. All right, so back into the trading aspects. So that's what I'm really wanting to see. I'm not going to go any further than that on XRP. I need to see these things happen first. I need to see her break the 56 area. Okay, I need to see her break that first in order for me to start to wonder if she's going to come to 64. Okay, and then on to 72 or whatever it was. What I have noticed over the years of my trading skill is that XRP likes to move in sequences, right? She likes to move in different sequences. And these sequences tie into the whole overall aspects of not just trading, but I do believe the aspects within yourself as well. And that goes for all the pairs, not just XRP or Ethereum, right? All right, so I want to go back over to, or I want to go check out XLM USD. Let's check it out. Okay. So we can kind of see that it's kind of following. It's kind of following what XRP is doing almost. Bit of a double bottom going on here, right? So for this guy, we need to see a break of the 13-cent area to see some momentum shift. Okay, that's what I need to see. I need to see the break of the 13-cent area. It needs to break 13 cents. And then after 13 cents, whoops, after 13 cents, let's mark the 13-cent area. There's the 13-cent area. After the 13-cent area, the next resistant area is right here at 16 cents. Okay. So we would need to see the break of that 13 area to see her come to 16 cents for sure. Right? So this is the area I'm shooting for, right? This is the area we want to shoot for right here. Because look at where that brings us to, right? Look at where that brings us to. Let's draw this in. That brings us back into that weekly supply. Okay. That brings us back into that weekly supply that we had a while ago. Right? We do that weekly supply a long time ago. And it broke down. All the cryptos broke out of the weekly supply. This wasn't a long time ago weekly supply. This one down here was the absolute original that we drew a long time ago when we were telling you to get in for the XRP trade long time ago. When you're holding the XRP, it was like in summer. We told you to get in now because she was going to jump. And that she did. This area was that area on XLM. Okay, that's this area here where I told everybody to get in. Told everybody to get in. Okay. Not down too far. There. Okay. Now, so that was the area that I told everybody to get in. Down here, when I told everybody to get in on the XRP, and that was in summertime, I said she's going to go up. If you get in now, then you'll have a great position. I kept telling people this. If you don't take my word for it, go back a few months ago on my trading session. They're all recorded, okay? I pointed out, get into XRP, get into XRP quite a few times. And then, was it September? XRP decided to jump. And she went up nicely. And so did XLM, and so did the commodities, right? The commodities were jumping along with these pairs, XRP and XLM. Now, if you're not familiar of the new system that's going to be coming in play with the cryptos and all that other stuff, I suggest you get familiarized with it. Okay. It's not a complicating system, but it involves these two pairs, XRP and XLM, and they're attached to gold and silver. Okay. So XRP is attached to gold. Okay. And XLM is attached to silver. Okay. So we just need to just be aware of the certain opportunities that we have here in these markets. Because there is lots. There is a grand scale of many different opportunities. And not just opportunities, guys. We have many different aspects when it comes to making money in these markets too. We can learn the different patterns, right? And we can just trade patterns, or we can trade the Fibonacci sequences, right? Or we can trade the harmonics, like I like trading, right? I love trading harmonics. Okay. There's many different ways. You can just trade the basics, your support, resistance, and trend, right? There's so many different ways that you can make money in these markets. Divergence is another way. Opposite highs and lows. We've been over that as well in some of our sessions. We've pointed out divergence with the harmonics, right? Which basically creates a more accurate decision when it comes to trading those harmonics. And what I mean by that, your accuracy for success is greater than it would be just a plain harmonic. Okay. The divergence is basically confirming, yes, this harmonic is going to set up, and it's going to set up now. Okay. If you find divergence with the harmonic on the 4-hour, that is a very strong indication that there's a trade there for you to look at. Okay. So from that point, let's say you found a harmonic and you found divergence, which is opposite highs and lows in the market. Okay. Now, from the 4-hour, if you found it on the 4-hour or anything higher, you have to look at some of the lower time frames. Okay. So let's say you found it on the 4-hour, right? You have to go down to the 1-hour. You may find divergence on that hour, right? And if you do, it's just another confirmation. Okay. But if you find that divergence on that hour, you have to go down to the 15-minute anyways, right? So you might have to go down, check the 15 minutes to see if there's divergence on that pair too in that time zone. Okay. And if there is, bingo, wait for the momentum shift and get into that trade. Okay. Because if you get into that trade, if you found it on the 4-hour and you have divergence all the way down to the 15-minute, you have an amazing trade setup, and its accuracy to success is well over 80%. Okay. So there's a definite take a trade. Your stop loss, your stop loss and your take profits will usually be set in accordance to the time you're going to be in the market. So what I would usually do if I'm trading crypto is I give at least a 500 to 1,000 tip stop loss. Okay. You got to give it time to breathe, especially on those higher time frames. Okay. If the trade is found on the 4-hour, you got to give it time to breathe all day, right? Maybe even 2 days. It needs that time to breathe, to fluctuate. Crypto can be very volatile, okay? You have to give it time to breathe, to move what it wants to do, to set up for that trade. I'm speaking from experience because there were times in my very first few months and my first year of trading that I didn't allow myself to do that, right? And I blew accounts. I blew my accounts by doing those things. So I'm expressing this to you guys so you don't do the same. Okay? Give yourself time to breathe in these markets, or you're going to lose all the time. Okay? All right. Moving on. That's XLM. Let's go check out. We checked out XRP. We checked out Ethereum. We're talking about Ethereum. No, we didn't talk about Ethereum. But Ethereum we analyzed last week, and we gave a trade. She went to profit, decent profits, but she did hit our stop loss. If you set a stop loss, I myself don't set stop loss because I'm a swing trader. Okay. I like to stay in the market and hold my trades for sometimes weeks on end, right? So I don't set a stop loss, but when I give a trade to somebody, I do. Okay. I set a stop loss for them. Not on my own personal trade, but I give to the people who are just learning, who are taking signals. Because if we were to let their trading account run like we do our own, they could blow their accounts, right? They could. I myself, I can reload my account if I need. Maybe they can't, right? So that being said, that's why we set stop losses and our take profits, right? So that we can have our risk management balanced enough to win more than our losses, because you're not going to win them all. You're just not going to be 100%. Okay. It doesn't happen. Rarely does it happen, if any. Okay. So the best we can do is really get to that 90, maybe 98%. Okay. But if we're a beginner and we're running our and we only have a $100 account and we're doing these swing trades, I highly suggest against it. I really do. Until you have $300 in your account, I would not swing trade at all. Okay. So let's find another pair here. We haven't looked at Bitcoin. Let's go take a look at BTC USD. I'm going to delete these fibs here. We're going to delete this. I don't own the rights to any of this music. I delete that. We'll delete that. We will delete that. Okay. I'm going to delete this as well, and we'll delete that one. Alrighty. Get rid of that there. Okay, so I'm going to leave the other ones. Okay. Now, the reason why, actually, I'll delete this guy here, because I want to show something. Okay, so I want to show just a few things here. So if you've been on my previous sessions, we're going to go into, we did some basics now. We're going to go into a little bit of, I call not intermediate trading or intermediate analysis. I call it intermediate basics. And the reason why I say intermediate basics, just 1 second here, guys. Give me 1 second. All right, guys, give me 1 more second. I'm just getting back to somebody. This is an important message here quickly. Thank you. Yes. All right, I'm just going to plug my computer and we'll get started again here. All right. Where do we leave off here? We're basically just starting to analyze Bitcoin. So as I said previously, we did some basics. So we're going to put in our basics right now, quickly. Just to get our areas of the markets. Okay. All right. Okay, so that's the bottom of the market there. And then this is the top of the market here. So now we're going to go into a little bit of how we learned how to analyze a market and find different patterns. How we made it easier for ourselves. What we learned from an amazing educator in a different community. Okay. What we learned here, I think, is highly important to understand. Now, there are others that probably think not, because others think you just need to know the basics, which is true. But wouldn't you want to advance your growth in your skill set? If you want to actually become a serious trader, at some point you would love to become independent, wouldn't you? So that is why it's important to start understanding the basics from moving away from the basics. Okay? That's how I'm just going to lay it out. The basics from moving away from the basics. Okay? So that's what we're going to dive into right now, is those basics that we need to put in place in order to start growing our skill set. Okay? Now, first of all, if you've been on our previous sessions, we've laid out that there are 4 phases of the market. Okay, there's 4 phases of the market. Okay, we have the accumulation, which is a sideways movement. Consolidation is another name for it, right? We have the advancing market here, which is an incline. It's bullish, right? At the top here, when the market's going sideways again, it's not called accumulation. It's actually called distribution, okay? It's another form of consolidation, but however, it is at the top of the market when accumulation is found at the bottom. That's really the only difference, okay? You can find the same patterns that are going to set up at the top that you're going to find at the bottom. You can find them anywhere, really, right? So now when we get to this point here, we look off to the side here, right? We look off over here and we notice this. You notice we have this kind of W looking thing, all right? Oh, I need some more water here. We have this W looking thing, and I don't know the rights to this music. And we look further on and we're wondering, okay, well, it didn't set up for a W, for sure not. Because if it was a W, it would have gone all the way up this way. So, oh shit, I gotta move that candle away. There we go. Okay, so basically, when we notice that this is not a W, we're gonna wonder, okay, well, what was it then? Because it moved down significant. That was a huge move here. What caused this market to drop like that? Like, let's calculate this drop here. Okay, that drop down to 47,000, almost 48,000 pips, guys. That dropped from up here down to that wick right here. Okay, right here. That's a 47,000 pip drop, guys. Almost 48,000 pip. What caused that drop? Right? What caused it? So when we start to analyze a little bit further than the basics, what I do normally is I'll take this fib retracement tool, right? I'll take this fib retracement tool and I'll usually just place it in the market. See, with this Fibonacci tool, you can use it multiple times for each wavelength. So we got this one wavelength. I could go from here to here. I could grab another one, take from that high, go to that low there, right? And then I could take another one and go to that one right there, right? And then I can also take another one and go from here oh, I have to move it over to do it. There we go. Okay. So now we have all these numbers here, right? That kind of look confusing. It kind of looks confusing. But what it does tell us, I'm going to highlight some important factors here, okay? I'm going to highlight some important factors. Okay? Okay. So this right here is the commonality in the market. Come on, Max. Okay, bud. My kitty wants to come in. It's okay, bud. Come on. I'm closing the door though because I'm doing a lesson, okay? You go ahead, lay down. Yeah, fix the bed for you. Yeah, fix the bed. There we go. Is that better? Yeah. Now you can do a little bit. Okay. All right, guys. So I'm not going to get into what commonality is because that's more advanced stuff. I just wanted to point out that we've talked about the 618 and we've talked about this 50 and we've talked about the 382 a lot on our sessions, okay? Now, we can also tie in this 786, okay, and the 236. Okay, we can tie in that because crypto likes to play those lines as well. All right. But I don't see any commonality on those lines as of yet, except for these guys here. Right? These guys here. That's all I see right there for these guys. I'm going to change the color again here. Right? Is those guys. So I don't really see anything else that's really significant in these markets. But I'm not going to really dive into this. This is just something that I look at before I start doing my wave analysis, right? You don't need to know any of this. I just kind of want to show you, okay? All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to delete, oh no, let me delete that. I need to delete that. And let's delete that. Okay. So I'm going to delete this one. Okay, so this one right here, I want you guys to remember this line here. This is where our 382 and our 50 lined up. Okay, this is where our 382 and our 50 lined up. Okay, now if you've been on any of my other sessions, I've mentioned the 50 quite significantly when it comes to finding one particular reversal pattern. Okay, and that's the harmonic. But before we dive into harmonics, that's one of the last things I want to touch base on here. I want to start kind of analyzing this market for you guys with some wave analysis. We're going to keep these marks here, though, okay? So what I'm going to do I don't need that one, darn it. What I do need is we're coming out of accumulation, so I need the impulse wave. So we're going to start down here, okay? For the impulse, right in this section when these waves started happening, okay? So we're going to start from the lowest, right there, bring there. Remember, we're on the week, okay? Okay, so there's our impulse wave to bring us to the top of this market, okay? Now, I want to point something out before we go any further, okay? When it comes to analyzing these pairs, the reason why I brought up the 4 phases of the markets is because we need to understand where we are in the current market. Where is it? Is it in distribution or is it in accumulation? Where is the market? Where's the price at right now, right? So pretend all of this is not here right now. Pretend this is not here, okay? This has just happened now. So accumulation's down here. We went through the advancing phase. So where are we now? Yes, we're in distribution, if you guys guessed it right. So because we're in distribution, we need to start to wonder, what is the next step into the wave analysis sequence? Okay, so if this is the impulse, we must have a correction coming to balance out the market. That would be correct, right? So the correction would come next after this, okay? So we'll take our correction wave and come down to, we'll come down to when it starts to range here. We'll come up here and down to there, okay? So there's our correction. Actually, you know what? We'll bring it to that one. Now, what is occurring right now in this market? This didn't come up high enough. There we go. So what is occurring in this market? Now, we can see that this correction brought us into that 50 and that 382 area that we marked previously. Now, if you're a more experienced trader, that would have told you right there to start adding and subtracting, okay? Do your equation, which means put your Fibonacci's back up, okay? So let's just do that right now. And because the market is coming down, we're going to go from here and just do this whole wave, okay? So we're going to do this whole wave here over to right. Come on. Can you work with me? There we go. Okay. So now we have this market and what we've done is we've measured to this area here, just one wave, okay? One wave. Now we could bring it down to here, but then we're putting in almost 2 waves, well, a wave and a half, really. Okay. So from here, what we're going to do, if you've been on any of my previous sessions, I'm going to actually take this and I'm going to highlight this area. Bring it in. And we're going to change it to, okay. Now, the reason why I'm highlighting this area, if you've been on any of our previous sessions, you'll understand that it's going to play a factor when we tie into harmonics, okay? So, but I want you to notice that it is at this 50 zone that we have marked, okay? And that's where this wick comes from, right here. The wick comes right, it rejected the 50, okay? So let's continue on with our wave sequence. So from here, we're not quite an impulse, and we're not in the correction phase. So what are we at? What are we doing in this market? Now, there is another way to mark. It's like an opposite correction. That's what I call it. Opposite correction, to be honest. And that's what we're going to be marking here in this market here is an opposite correction. So we're going to come from here and we're coming up here and we're going to come back up to there. Okay. There's our opposite correction. And if you notice at this area as well, we're going to mark a circle. And we're going to come back to that after we tie into the harmonics. Okay? We're going to come back to that area. And we're going to tell you why we circled that. If you notice it already, keep it to yourself. Okay? So from there, now we can take our impulse because that's what it is. So we're going to come down all the way to here. I'm going to come up to here, down to that little guy, up to there, and down. That's how that worked there. Okay. Now from there, we need to figure out where we're at. Usually it's a correction. Okay. However, if you think about it, we're not really correcting. If you look at the last correction, the market's not really correcting itself. It's just kind of doing a sideways kind of movement sort of thing. Okay. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take our triple combo and we're going to come back into this area. There we go. Now we're going to make this bigger, right? All right. So that's the prediction of our Elliott wave sequence, okay? if you look, let's go back. Right? We have our impulse wave coming to the top. Then the market corrected itself to come back into the area that it needed to, which is the weekly supply from a long time ago. And then from there, it decided to come all the way back into this area, all the way back up here, basically 100% back up, possibly further because it's a little higher, right? And then it dropped right back down into the area that it just moved from, and then corrected quickly to the 50 area of the Fibonacci's, right? And then from there, it went and did this kind of W sequence like it did here almost, right? And dropped. And now it's almost doing the same thing. We have this W sequence going on over here. And the market is probably going to come back into this area up here. The market's probably going to come back into this area here, right? And the thing is I'm going to take a picture of this. The thing is when it does come back into that area, the market has to retest, okay, before it can go up. So I do believe from here that what it'll do an impulse. So it's going to break out, right? And then it's going to come back to retest that area. And then it's going to come up into this area, possibly come back to retest there, and then back into this area here, right? Now, if it doesn't do that, it could create a harmonic, right? It could create a harmonic. Now, with what we have projected here, we could just measure that, right? So for the harmonic, we'd have to measure from here, come over here. She could be a harmonic, right? She could be a harmonic because the middle line's at the 50 here, right? So if she comes back up into this area here, we could actually see a drop instead. We could see a drop, right? Like something like this. Instead of a breakout, we could see her take this line and come down to there, retest there, come all the way down to probably there, give us a quick retest of the 50, and then down, 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 right? We could get something like that. Just because we have this 50 area, right? Because we have the 50 area here. I don't know the rights to this music. So anything could happen, right? anything can happen. We could get a spike up, or we could get the spike down. Okay, whichever. Right now, I do believe it's going to be a harmonic. I do believe we're going to get a harmonic, but we need to see her come up back into this area first to set up for that harmonic. Okay, just because our measurements are there right now doesn't mean we can get into the harmonic trade right now. She's not ready. She has to play up to that area for us to get into that trade. Okay, now we might be able to find a buy, but we'd have to get into that buy at the 382. Okay, the 382 is the second best entry into the market, and we get in at the 382. We could take the market up from here all the way to the 618 or a little bit higher, right? Now, from the 382, you're still making a decent profit. 4,000 pips, almost 4,200, right? So it's still a nice profit. What I'm trying to say. You can take it up to the high, but you have to wait for your entry. Okay? You have to wait for that entry. She needs to get fluctuated. We have a day left on this weekly candle. Wait to see what the next candle brings us, right? Wait to see. So from there, I'm going to actually delete all this stuff down here, because we're going to go and tie into some harmonics now, guys. Okay. And then we're going to close this session. Okay, so actually, no, not that one. I'm going to delete this impulse guy. Okay, actually, then we'll delete this guy too. I'm going to leave the two playing here because we've circled things within them. Okay. Now, why did we circle these areas? Let me have a quick drink before we start diving into that. Okay, so why did we circle these areas? We circled these areas because the first one here landed at the 50, okay, and it ties into harmonic sequence, okay, it ties into a harmonic, and we'll explain that in a second. This one ties into another pair. It ties into another pattern, pardon me. And we'll talk about that after we dive into harmonics. So what is a harmonic? A harmonic, if you have not been on any of our sessions, is a geometrical pattern, and it pops up when the market is about to reverse. Okay, so when the market reverses, we see the sequences of a tremendous fall like this, right? I have to tie in here very quickly because I have to go quickly, okay? So this is a harmonic here, and I'm going to show you quickly. We're going to draw it in. We're going to tie in to this just very quickly. Okay, so there's a harmonic. Now, if you've been on our previous sessions, right, the harmonic, when you're looking for it, the center of it will always line up at the 50, okay? The center of it will always line up at the 50. Now, over here, we have another pattern, and you can kind of see it, right? What do we call it? We call it the head and shoulders, okay? Right? There's our head and shoulders, okay? It is another reversal pattern, the number one reversal pattern. This is our distribution area. The market was here. If you look at the bottom of my screen, it says Monday, 8th, November 21. Okay? So on Monday, the 8th, in November of 2021, the market was about to reverse. We were on a live session with the team. I pointed out the harmonic. I said this market's going to drop 12,000 pips. And we just showed you earlier that it dropped almost 50,000 pips, right? This harmonic, if you look back and do your own analysis, you'll also see very quickly here. Look at this. Trend, right? Look at this. High, right? Low. Opposite highs, opposite lows. Divergence. Boom. 90% accuracy. Guaranteed this trade is dropping. Okay? It's set up. And you can clearly see, and we pointed out, 48,000 pips later, she dropped after showing these patterns. Okay? Now that's just basics of the basics. I'm not going to tie into any more. We have to close this session because we have to go. And we'll be uploading this when we get back. So I hope you have an amazing day. God bless you. Go out there and analyze your pairs. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Good night.